So Miami-Dade County has been in the dabbling in the feedback business for some time right now, right? We knew all the fundamental parts of how this works. We knew how to write a survey. We knew how to build an online web form and build a fancy report that people would actually maybe pay attention to. But we really had a timeliness problem, right? Like our feedback agility was something that we really left a lot to be desired, right? How we were turning that around, were we really asking the right people, the right questions, were we doing it at the right times, and were we turning that around and actually getting it in the hands of the people that could actually do something about it in as quickly as we should. So the process is probably something that's very familiar to a lot of you, is you gather some feedback, it goes into somebody's inbox, or maybe it's sitting in a database somewhere, and that handful of people that aren't totally freaked out by like an Excel spreadsheet would eventually put together a report that would end up in somebody's hands. So that's really where we engaged Code for America to come help us out and create something beautiful and elegant that we could sort of get our hands around.
Thanks, Mike. Nice shirt, by the way.
Hey, you too, buddy.
So when the Miami-Dade Fellows went to the Miami-Dade County Regulatory and Economic Resources Department, this is actually one of the first places we went to, the Miami-Dade Permitting and Inspection Center, or the PIC for short. It's about the size of a giant big box department store. It is literally in a strip mall in West County, right next to a Cuban coffee shop. And
Ernie, everything's next to a Cuban coffee shop in Miami.
Fair enough, fair enough. True too, it's a true story. And it is actually the place where homeowners, business owners, permit expediters, it's where they go to where they get inspections, zoning, planning, environmental, code compliance. Needless to say, there is a lot of touch points between Miami-Dade County citizens and the county government. And also, this is kind of how feedback is done right now. Standard paper form that you see in most municipal county governments that goes into a literal locked box. And it's not to say that there's anything bad about the paper form. Absolutely not, right? But when we ended up going to Miami-Dade County in February as part of our research, one of the comments that we got can be summarized by this slide, which was por el hueco. Did I say that right?
Por el hueco is correct, Ernie.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm Chinese, so.
Hey.
So por el hueco in this case literally means in the hole, meaning when someone ended up submitting feedback, they would submit the feedback, they would be put into the box, and then that's it. Unless there was a high priority issue that needed immediate attention, there wasn't any acknowledgement of the feedback. And even if that feedback ended up going to the right stakeholder to make those proper process changes, there wasn't any evidence that they saw anything. What would happen? That would mean a lack of engagement that builds to a little bit of a mistrust between citizens and government, and that erodes that trust that government wants with its citizens. For another thing, you might have noticed that this was Spanish. If you guys think that this is the image of Miami-Dade County, you may be a little surprised. Actually, 2000 census, we learned that Miami-Dade County is actually the only majority immigrant county, meaning it's the only county in the nation with an immigrant majority. Furthermore, 60% of households in Miami-Dade County do not actually speak English at the home. So
Ernie, thank you for being a friend.
Not now, Rose. Not now, Rose. So one of the things we wanted to do is make sure that we wanted to address, the folks, the homeowners and the business owners that come in to the BIC, meaning if it had to be in Spanish, it should be in Spanish, right? If it's in a language they feel comfortable in, absolutely. Let's make sure that feedback is relevant and available. We also wanted to make sure that it was in a variety of channels. So if we wanted the web interface, web interface. And if an SMS interface is more appropriate inside of physical space, then that's what it should be as well. Making it so it's tailored to the user that's coming to invite themselves to the part of the process. What happens is that when the person submits their feedback, the difference is that they actually get real-time responses that their feedback has been submitted, and depending on the section that they've submitted their surveys to, the right stakeholders actually will get an aggregate amount of all of the responses after a certain period of time. Not only that, they'll be led to a public real-time dashboard that allows quantitative and qualitative results for stakeholders to really be able to get a whole picture, to be able so that stakeholders can basically improve their processes over time.
So Ernie's really, I wish we could scroll down. No, don't. You advance too fast. Look at that. Look, I want you to look at that real quick, and I wish that we could actually scroll up a little bit more, because on top of what Ernie described, this thing actually also sits over opendata.miamidade.gov, which we launched earlier this year, which is a big success for us. So what they've actually also helped us do is create some data literacy for some of these folks internally, right? Because now they've created some really beautiful interfaces on top of, again, going back to the folks that, us data geeks that might love staring at a spreadsheet all day long. They've actually created something that will work in the hands of the people that are actually out there doing the work. They're fixing potholes. They're running the permitting inspections. So the beauty of this is that it's now getting in the hands of decision makers. People are not bored by, maybe staring at something that they would have stared at earlier and not really excited them. They're looking at something beautiful. And we've got something that we can actually replicate over a number of different areas. Permitting and zoning inspectors, we're actually trying to get those feedback mechanisms in place right when the inspections are happening, again, built on top of our open data portal. Permitting inspection center is the work that they actually did the pilot work with, and it's also something that we can replicate across our 311. So thank you so much for the work that you guys have done, Ernie, and the team. We want to thank the rest of the team. Thank you all very, very much.
Hey, guys.